Welcome back to the second video of the day. We're just going to go through some of the people who are following the Jay Slater case. And I do follow Hayley Comet because she does keep it pretty straight up in what she actually believes in. And we're generally on the same narrative as well. I know she's been on my channel and she knows that I follow her as well and support her. Let's get straight into this.
For a minute, and I just want to go back to basics a minute. And I know there are a huge number of people online and in real life that believe that something nefarious happened to Jay Slater. Now, for me, when you look at crime cases, the ones that are obviously an accident normally kind of follow a pattern where, you know, you don't have conflicting statements. You don't have people who give statements to the media and different people kind of giving different ones. It tends to be the truth is the truth and you stick to that. And if you look at, say, even Ayub, and I want to just note this, I don't think Ayub murdered Jay Slater. I do not think he was the person who took Jay Slater's life, and neither do I think Rocky was.
I don't either, but I do think they're still laughing and joking and not taking this case seriously is because they know what happened to Jay. And the way they think was like it's his fault. He got himself into that trouble, so he's got to get himself out of it. So what happened to him is his business. For them, because they know what happened and they know they've got no involvement. So whatever happens, even if people got arrested for murdering Jay, basically at the end of the day, it wouldn't be them, and that's the way they're looking at it.
I want to just be really honest about that. I don't think that's what happened. But Ayub has given 3 very distinct versions of what happened. Now, in one of those statements, Rocky was asleep the whole time, including in the car. I don't know how they carried him in the house, maybe like a baby. He was asleep the whole time, saw nothing, knew nothing. But Ayub says in one version he actually pandered to Jay's every possible need.
This is what I was going on about in the video I made earlier, is that Ayub did everything to help him, to relax. Would he have gone out to buy him a Chinese? It just makes you wonder. The way Ayub explained it is that he was perfectly treated and that he had no worries, even though he had 2 knives on him, which Ayub didn't see. Odd.
You give him a towel, a blanket, a cigarette, a place to charge his phone. I'm surprised he didn't put a lid chocolate on his pillow.
My thoughts.
And then he went to sleep and doesn't know really what happened to Jay. Then we have the second story where Jay's outside, he has a cigarette and he tells Ayub, I'm going to go because I'm starving. I've been up all night on ketamine, but I'm absolutely all of a sudden thinking I would like a 3-course meal. I want scrown, he says, in a word that most people say Jay didn't use. But in the third one, he says that he was asleep the whole time. He didn't know Jay left. And then we have these people that knock at the door and ask Ayub to move their car, and he sees Jay in the rear view walking away. And these people look like something off of The Hills of Eyes, because when they've knocked...
But, I mean, were they local workers? Who were they? I'm sure the police would have had that report, because we have heard these stories many times. There are bits to this case where I wonder sometimes who these people really were. Were they invented or were they truly there? Because like I said, there's not enough evidence, to tell us that these things truly happened. This is what makes this case very, very mysterious. And obviously the title of this, how many versions of the truth is it? And this is a case, I think, that's going to be talked about for many, many, many years. And it's mind-boggling. It truly, truly is, people.
On the door to ask him to move his car. They have a wheelbarrow with them, which I just think is so fucking bizarre. So even if you look at just that, how can the truth have so many different variations?
Very true.
There can only be one story. What do you guys think? Which one of those is the truth?
Yeah, let me know what you think, Hayley. I'll look out for your comments for that, people. But if I don't comment straight away, I will be watching the Spurs Crystal Palace match. But don't worry, I will comment once that is finished. Come on, you Spurs. I bet I'm going to get a lot of ribbon now for supporting Tottenham Hotspurs. So we're going to move on to video 2, which is...
I just want to address a few comments that I'm getting on.
Excuse me, it's Mariana, and she's gone on about basically Jay Slater. They've asked for money from the public on a GoFundMe, and now you're saying that the public shouldn't get involved. Look, I'm going to say something, right? The GoFundMe, for me, is a very, very sensitive topic. I will comment on what Mariana has said, and do subscribe to her because she lets us use her content. But my thoughts are, with the case of not knowing what happened to Jay, the money is the last thing on my mind, and we should be all together fighting for justice and not talking about the money in great content as it is, or what she's going to do with it. Whether she's touched it or not, to be honest, it's none of my business. All I want is to find Jay's killers. Let's get straight and listen to it. I will comment on it though.
Right? There's so many people saying the family don't need strangers like you speculating. The family don't need random people commenting or posting. And obviously there's many of us that are talking about Jay Slater on this platform and other platforms.
I would just like to say, I think not so much Debbie. I think she doesn't like the trolls. But I think if people were coming up with information that makes sense and you actually talk to her, I'm sure she would want to put this out in the open. With Warren, we know he's still got a lot of thoughts and speculation, and he's putting things out to the public, which is a good thing. But like I said, for the people who are trolling Debbie and ruining her life, that is completely terrible. Like I said, my channel, it's a serious channel, and we are just after justice for the people that hurt Jay.
Such as YouTube. But I want to say one thing. The family involved the public from day one. Why? Because they set up a GoFundMe. They asked the public to donate what they can. They asked everyone to share the GoFundMe, and they made it known by involving the public from day one. That's not my problem that this case has now got out of hand. That's not my problem that this case is full of so many holes and it's bullshit from day one. It's not my problem. People don't believe it. Now, I'm going to...
I think if you're going to put speculations out there about the money, you're going to have a lot of things come back at you, because people are protecting Debbie and protecting that they've put money into it knowing that she'll do anything good. I think for me, if I knew that money was going to good, which I think it will do, I think we just got to let nature take its course. We cannot get emotionally involved in what she's doing with the money, or is it a scam or something? Because like I said, I do think Debbie, that the money there has been shown, whether it's 72,073 or whether she takes some money out. I think it will be for a good cause myself, and I'm sure she will tell the public what she's doing with that. I've always said that, and it's not something I'm going to go deeply into.
I'll say one thing, and I'm going to make this very clear. This is my TikTok page. This is my content I'm posting. If you don't like it, do what you want. I actually couldn't care less. But they involve the public, they involve the media. Let's not forget, on the 29th of June, the BBC urged the public and people in the UK to fly out to Tenerife to join a mass search for Jay Slater. Then then the search got closed off on the 30th. Let's not forget those key details. They involved the public from day one. The public is still involved now. If they don't want the public involved, they shouldn't have made it so publicly known.
Yeah, I think we got to be careful in sometimes what we say, because what we have to remember, this is a very, very, very sensitive case. Very, very sensitive. And like I said, we're still at the stage where we want answers, and we want someone to actually come out and tell us what actually happened to Jay Slater in the scenario. If we get that, you know, everything else is a bonus what comes out. But like I said, just to have a timeline in what happened to him, if someone was there or someone had heard the story that can give us a timeline, that will help us narrow things down. And this is what we actually pinpoint. I like Mariana. I think she comes out with some good points. I think she's quite a strong person in what she actually believes in. But I do think you're going to get attacked. Even me, if I was kept on talking about the money and what she's going to do with it, I think you're just putting yourself out there to attacks, to be honest with you. This is my personal viewpoint. But like I said, but in other cases, to just talk very well for herself. She is straight talking. She's going to upset a few people, but depends how sensitive you are about this case. Sometimes you've got to balance things out. Thank you. I've had to put this one up, people. Some people have seen it, some people have not. But Cold Case, who has been following the Jay Slater case, has put this up about Ayub and basically his making money schemes. Interesting.
Is going on with Ayub Quazim, because unbelievably Ayub is using the UK riots as an advertisement for his dodgy scam.
Anyway, I'm on the new Telegram, the dot pond. From there we're going into the crypto point and we're going to be swimming in all the fight.
Wow. Just wow.
I gotta admit, it wouldn't surprise me. There was so much especially young people going on and his site or TikTok and watching him speak and asking him questions, and a lot of them were like glued to him like he was some kind of superstar. It was just unbelievable.
Wow, this guy clearly is very, very keen for you all to join his dodgy scam. Hopefully none of you have done so, and hopefully all of you have still got a few brain cells rocking around upstairs, because if you have signed up for Ayub's dodgy scam, you seriously need your head testing. So good old Ayub's back on TikTok, and he's advertising his cryptocurrency scam and claiming that because of the UK riots, now is the time to get your cash out of your bank and to give it to Ayub Quazim. Really? If you do that, you are mad. If you do that, you are a fool.
Makes me wonder how many people have handed money over to him, and that he'll also let them know a little bit more about what happened to Jay Slater or the run-up to it. Never ever believe that, because that should have been out ages ago.
Oh, and if you do that, I will wave my red flag for you. So Ayub's not been that vocal lately on TikTok, and it would appear that he is still operating on other dodgy websites in order to get his scam up and running. Now, I'm not saying that all crypto is a scam, but just because not all crypto is dodgy doesn't mean what Ayub is doing isn't dodgy. And for me, to come up with this sort of scam off the back of a dead 19-year-old boy, it's just despicable. It's a bloody piss take. And I really hope that not many of you have given him your money, as clearly you won't be getting your cash back. Now, obviously, everybody is entitled to make money. Everybody is entitled to be on social media. But what I find weird is how Ayub Quazim wasn't selling his crypto scam online until he became famous from Jay Slater's death. Then, in my opinion, the pound signs and the dollar signs were everywhere. Money, money, money. Cash, cash, cash.
This is my thoughts on him. Nobody really knew what he was done before. I never heard from him until obviously his criminal record actually came out, and that he was flooding Wales with Class A drugs, and he was the big operations man behind it. And then this, the whole world's looking at him, and he's decided to cash in on Jay Slater's death. This is incredible. Everyone cashing in from Jay Slater's death. It's unbelievable. We've got documentaries coming out. It's just a laugh. You know, as soon as this starts dying down, and like I said, what we're hoping for is, in my last video, is a family member actually coming out and telling the truth. Someone's got to, because we're certainly not going to give up unless we know the truth. And these people out there earning money off the back of Jay and his family, oh my God.
Who cares about Jay Slater and his tragic death? I just care about cash. But Ayub, to me, seems...
Didn't she just say that? Didn't she just say that? I back her 100%. This guy doesn't give a toss about Jay Slater apart himself and making some serious money from it, which I think he probably is.
Like a career criminal, and I doubt he will ever have a normal job. In my opinion, he will always be trying to scam people. But did he scam Jay Slater? And just why did Jay Slater really go back to Ayub's Airbnb? Was it to do with illegal substances? But was it for another reason? Was a Rolex watch really stolen? Or is that just a bullshit story? That I would love to know. Do you think that Ayub Quazim is despicable for trying to make cash off of Jay Slater's back? Or do you just think he's a good businessman? And do you think he's taking the piss by trying to get more money from people because of the UK riots?
This guy is really taking the piss. He's just taking the piss. And this just proved to me he hasn't got a care in the world.
And advising people to clear out their bank accounts. Red flags are flying for Ayub Quazim, and they've never stopped since I first laid eyes on him. What do you think about Ayub? Do you think he's dodgy? Do you think there is a very good reason why Jay Slater fled the Airbnb? Why did he need to get away from Ayub? What on earth happened? I'm not sure we're ever going to get to know that, but hopefully one day we will do.
That is my hope, and like I said, I'm going to mention it again. I hope a family member of Jay's blows it all out in the open, so we can actually put this case to bed. People get arrested and doing jail sentences. Like I said, I don't think Ayub hurt or even killed Jay Slater, but he sure does know what happens, and there's a lot of people covering up this death of Jay Slater. Let me know what you think of Cold Case and the points about Ayub and how the authorities let this happen as well. It's amazing. And don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment and Cold Case, because she's absolutely brilliant as well. Thank you. Wherever you are in the world.